We're all well aware that the court system inside of capitalism is designed to do one thing, and that's protect private property and the rights thereof that flow from it. Now, it should be no surprise that the Hobby Lobby ruling ruled in favor of corporations. This is their legal system after all. They are the highest court in the land, thus the highest representatives of the capitalist class. However, many legal commentators are noting something very strange. They're saying that this ruling by the Supreme Court may have actually backfired on corporate America. Now, whether or not it actually will is still to be debated and to see whether it becomes manifest. However, they do have a very interesting argument. The primary purpose of a corporation, aside from a tremendous conspiracy by international bankers or whatever kind of tinfoil garbage you want to believe in, is the fact that it gives the person who owns a business an autonomy away from the business. The owner can go in, be really profitable, take all the profits, buy himself a yacht, and be as successful as he wants, and just take all that from it. But if that corporation fails, the corporation is a separate entity from the person who owns it. Thus, all liabilities and all debts are entirely on the corporation itself. Now, this is something that was written into the existence of corporations with the specific intent of incentivizing people to go into business. Because don't worry, if you've got a corporation and you flop, all that liability is on the corporation and not you. And this was the express intent in creating a corporation. Incorporation was devised precisely to distinguish the corporation's activities from those of the owners until Hobby Lobby, a corporation, was not its owners. And that separation was the foundational principle of corporate law. The principle is known as the corporate veil. In fact, this ruling by the Supreme Court contradicts one that they made back in 2001. Linguistically speaking, the employee and the corporation are different persons, even where the employee is the corporation's sole owner. After all, incorporation's basic purpose is to create a distinct legal entity with rights, obligations, powers, and privileges different from those of natural individuals who created it, who own it, or whom it employs. What the Supreme Court has done here is rule that the owners of a corporation can assert their religious rights over it, which means now they are not truly separate entities. How can they be if you can force your religious views upon it? This begins, or is the first step towards breaking down the division between corporation and the person that owns it. Allowing a corporation through either shareholder vote or board resolution to take on and assert the religious beliefs of its shareholders in order to avoid having to comply with a generally acceptable law with a secular purpose is fundamentally at odds with the entire concept of incorporation. Creating such an unprecedented and idiosyncratic tear in the corporate veil would also carry with it unintended consequences. What this may have just done is destroy that separation between the individual who owns the corporation, or individuals, and the corporation itself. And when you break that, you're beginning to put that liability on its owners. That separation has kept them safe for so long. How many times has a corporation been charged with something, and there's nobody to throw in jail because the corporation is separate from the people themselves? All they just do is pay massive fines and then write it off. That division could now be considered gone. There is now a precedent for linking the person with the corporation itself. So in Hobby Lobby's mad desire to avoid having to pay for something, or to avoid having to be connected to this through this system, this healthcare situation, they may have just screwed the rest of corporate America. As many people may have noticed, the U.S. Bureau of Commerce and other business organizations like that have remained strangely quiet on the subject, and they haven't really said anything. And I think that's for a very good reason. They didn't want to get caught up in it, because they know what might happen. And I think this may be another or a real step towards ending that division between a corporation and its owners. What we see here is a tremendous contradiction within capitalism. They want all the rights and all the benefits of a system which generates their wealth, but they don't want any of the responsibility or anything that they can be or that they consider negative in that system. It really is only me, 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 even if that me isn't even a real person. And they will do whatever it takes to take however much they can and give as little as possible, hence the very nature of capitalism itself. And this is a contradiction that exists in the system, that while they were fighting to free themselves of something, they ended up screwing themselves and other corporations in the process, because there is always that contradiction there. And that is one of the things, along with many, many other things, that will lead to the eventual downfall of capitalism globally. This is just one small example of the contradictions within the system. Thank you for watching. Please comment and rate the video. If you liked it, hit subscribe or check out some of these other great videos. If you wish, share it on social media. While you're at it, why don't you follow me on Twitter? And if you got time, go on over to the MRN bookstore and check out some of the latest books available.